sweet little garbanzo beans. So today we are doing a pick-a-card, and the subject of this pick-a-card is what major arcana is influencing you at this time. This is a reading that I do offer in my shop, so I will put the link to that reading specifically and my shop in general. Both of those links are going to be in the description box below, along with the links to the decks used in this reading. And the way that I want you guys to kind of select is by looking at these cards. Now I know these are minor arcana, so don't come for me in the comments, I get it. And I'm going to go through individually in a moment and kind of let you guys get a better look at the cards, as well as kind of talk about what they mean. But the purpose of this reading overall is to figure out what major arcana is really influencing you at this time. I have shuffled out the major arcana separately, and I am using a different deck to look at, kind of like do an in-depth look. So there's going to be the Rider-Waite is where I have the major arcana, which are set aside. And then I have a different tarot deck to kind of dig a little bit deeper, along with some oracle cards for each specific group. So the way that I kind of want you guys to choose is I picked 3 tarot cards that I feel really capture the spirit of what they mean, or at least of part of their meaning, right? Without going too in depth, the meaning, the purpose of symbolism in the tarot can be really, really important, because the goal originally when creating it was to have something where even people who were not familiar with it, who couldn't, maybe didn't have access to basic literacy, etc., would be able to look at these cards and be able to kind of divine what they mean. So these were 3 of the ones that I felt managed to, through the imagery originally created, maintain a lot of their meaning over time. And so this is kind of what's inspired me. So I'm going to go through each one and kind of give you a second to sort of take a look at it and see what the images evoke within you, and then give you a little bit of a background about what each one means. And that's how I would like you to make your selection. We do have cards 5, 6, and 7. So if you have one of those numbers that's particularly meaningful to you, excuse me, please feel free to pick based on that. And with that, we're going to get started. So we have group 1 with the 5 of Swords. Just take a look at that for a sec. Notice what emotions that brings up within you. And if those are emotions or thoughts or ideas that are resonating with a situation in your life, I would say that might be a strong hint from Spirit to choose group number 1. In group number 2, we have the 6 of Cups. I'm trying to do it without the glare. And for group 3, we have the 7 of Cups. And just a quick little rundown. Group 1 with the 5 of Swords. This is, the quick version of this can be about a lot of difficult interpersonal interactions, particularly where there's harsh words being said, or there's a very harsh perspective that's kind of blocking the flow of energy between you and loved ones, or really you and anybody, but I was picking up loved ones. Group 2 with the 6 of Cups is really talking about being in a really giving and reciprocal place, approaching relationships or matters of the heart with innocence and with openness. And this also talks about the past as well, so that's something to keep in mind, and like the nostalgia of the past. And with the 7 of Cups, this talks about being a little bit overwhelmed, having a lot of different options, all of which you have some type of feelings about, whether it's super positive or super negative or kind of neutral in between, and trying to really sift through all of the emotional and intuitive information you are getting in order to pick the right path. So I will leave this to y'all to kind of put yourselves where you see yourselves. And with that, I'm going to get started with group 1. Hello, all my sweet little garbanzo beans who chose group 1 with the 5 of Swords. Let's look at this, baby. Okay, so this is your, sorry if you can hear my dog snoring in the background. She snores like an old man. So if you were attracted to this card right off the bat, I can tell there's a situation that's really been on your mind a lot lately, that's been causing you a lot of anguish, a lot of stress, a lot of anxiety, and this is what Spirit really wants to bring forth today. Now, I do want to say I've already shuffled out all the major arcana, and I'm going to pull from this little mini major arcana deck that I have. Normally, I do read reversals for tarot, but today I felt called not to. So let's find out what major arcana is influencing you at this time as you're going through this struggle and this strife, either internally or externally with other people. Wow, okay. Okie dokie. So without even trying, y'all got the High Priestess. She's so beautiful. So this could be considered Cancer or Pisces energy. I think of her as Pisces because I always associate the Cancerian energy with the Moon card. But really what this is telling me is that there is this situation in your life, and I do feel like this involves other people, but I also feel like this is internalized, where you're not getting the full story, right? You know, the High Priestess, she has a foot in both the material realm and the spiritual realm. She knows far more than she speaks, and she reveals answers to you only when you're ready, right? So this can really talk about something being obscured from view until you're ready. And especially where this little cute circle on her sweet little hat there always makes me think of pearls. And so this to me really talks about when you are ready to receive kind of like the pearls of wisdom of this experience, that is when she shows you the full truth, or shows you as much as you need to know right now. So if this situation feels confusing and difficult, this is exactly why, because there's things that are being hidden from view, and I feel like the situation is there's tension is the word. Tension and potentially like outright conflict with other people. And you know, the Five of Swords a lot of times is about somebody who's willing to say whatever they need to say or do whatever they need to do to win. When they feel emotionally triggered, they lash out and they don't really contemplate the consequences of hurting other people's feelings until after they've already kind of said what they were going to say or done what they were going to do. And so I feel like this is kind of one of those things where it's hard to figure out what this person is doing. It feels like because I'm really drawn to the person crying right here, and it just kind of feels like this person is being unnecessarily and like very surprisingly unkind. Like, again, you almost can't figure it out, to the point where it feels like it's so unjustified, to the point where you might kind of doubt yourself and be like, well, am I being oversensitive? Am I internalizing it? Like, am I just like reading too far into this? And the answer is no, not at all. There are things that you are not privy to yet. There's information you are missing that I feel will really, what's the word I'm looking for, you guys? Validate. There we go. It's like verify? No. Consolidate? No. Validate. That will really validate what you're feeling. And this is also a huge call to trust your intuition. So if you feel like somebody's being unfair, if you feel like somebody especially is slighting you, they most likely are. And this might not be conscious. They're probably not sitting there being like, haha, how can I screw them over today? But oftentimes, you know, this is, to me, I always see this as the energy of somebody who, like I said, lashes out when they feel emotionally triggered. So this may very well be somebody who, you know, they're not giving you the full story, whether this is like their own emotional landscape, to kind of, you know, taking emotional ownership and responsibility for what they said, what they're feeling, whether there's something else going on and they're like, what's the word? Oh gosh, I'm losing my words today. It's when they, all right. It's like that thing when people, and I apologize, I'm totally forgetting the word. It like flew out of my brain. It will come back when it's ready. This is like the energy of somebody who will lash out at you as a way to cover up their own projection. There we go. Oh, that feels good. This is like the energy of somebody who's like maybe projecting onto you. So they'll like, you know, they'll accuse you of something that they're doing, or they'll kind of like project their own shortcomings onto you. And I feel like this is leaving you very confused. And again, there's an external event, but I feel like you're internalizing this and being like, well, am I wrong? Was I wrong about this? Especially if this was like a call to like follow a hunch. This person may have shot down your idea or what you had to say, and it's kind of like this self-doubt, and this is saying, no, you are right on point, and the truth is going to come out eventually. So I want to pull a what are these? Sacred Geometry Activations card to kind of get a little bit more of an idea of what this energy is sort of revolving around. I'm going to try to shuffle on camera. It's really hard for me, you guys. I've already pre-shuffled the deck specifically, so if I don't shuffle well on camera, you guys know that I still shuffled for you. I still shuffled hard because it is not my strong suit. To be fair, these are like the size of my hands, so it's a challenge. All right, what do we need to tell group number 1? Oh, it's this, you guys. It's way this. All right. Interesting. Divine Feminine is at the bottom. So again, this is really tapping into your empowered, spiritually empowered Divine Feminine energy. Oh my God. Okay, I'm going to pee my pants. I'm so excited. All right, you guys got throat chakra. And this says the frequency of the throat chakra, the blue flower of life, supports our self-expression and our sense of peace. Yeah, peace and balance. So you have 2 5s coming out, by the way. So there's a lot of challenges. There's a lot of kind of like this like turbulent, like frantic energy, like you don't really know what, nothing feels settled or things feel uneasy is really the feeling I'm picking up on. And with the throat chakra card coming out, this is exactly what we were talking about. There is a truth. This is all about truth all day. And look at all the blue here, and of course blue here. Sorry, that just made me think of Arrested Development with like, I just blew myself. It's always funny. Okay. But yeah, so this is really talking about this truth that is being withheld from you. And again, I don't think this is like a conscious, intentional thing. It might be if you're dealing with like a highly manipulative person, but more often than not, this is kind of the energy of somebody who's just acting petty because they're triggered. And so I feel like this person is not going to tell you this. This person's going to kind of like deflect. That's another word that would have been good prior. Is going to, project, deflect. They're going to try to kind of mentally outmaneuver you, communicatively as well, outmaneuver you to avoid having to deal with this truth. But this is really talking about the need to, and again, peace really caught my eye, the need to give yourself permission to find, especially mentally and emotionally and spiritually, to find peace in what you know to be true intuitively. Even if that means disengaging from this energy, this person, or however that kind of plays out for you personally. Sometimes we don't get that closure we're looking for, and we have to give that to ourselves. We have to find that peace of mind for ourselves. So I'm going to pull you guys some tarot and dig a little deeper. Oof. Okay. Wow. Okay, you guys got more than I intended, so we're gonna keep it though. I love this deck, by the way. This is amazing. So we have the 4 of Cups reversed. We have the 8 of Pentacles reversed. We have the Hierophant reversed. This deck is like making me hungry. And the King of Pentacles reversed. Okay, so right off the bat, 3 out of 4 of these cards are earth energy. We have Taurus, we have masculine earth energy, which would be Taurus, Virgo, Capricorn, and we have more pentacles right here. So there's something with the 4 of Cups reversed. I feel like you saw the potential in it. This could be something that is, that is like, and it's something you have emotional attachment to. With all the earth energy, this kind of leads me to think this might have to do with work, or this might have to do with somebody in your home. And I feel as if, what I'm kind of picking up on is I feel as if there's this situation where people didn't see the merit, but you did. So this might be this relationship, this connection with somebody. This could be a new way of doing things around your home. This could be, I don't know what I'm getting because we have multiple, we have a couple different flags from different countries. This could be talking about like a move. I also want to mention we have the abbreviations C, T, and M, so those might be important to you. But this is, and the 2 flags are the British flag and the Indian flag. So, the official flags of England and India. But yes, anyway, what I'm kind of picking up on is that there is this situation, and I feel like you really saw the potential in it. You were really like emotionally invested in it. And again, this also could be like a job where you're very, very invested. And I feel like this is like, I don't know. it's like maybe other people didn't see the value in it, and so you went ahead and you really like started to do the work on this. Or this could be, if this is a relationship, this could be somebody who, you know, it's like you wanted to do the work. You wanted to kind of meet them where you're at. Maybe you made like an offer to them emotionally, and I feel like the goal was like, hey, I see, you know, we have this connection, or I see this potential in you. It's like wanting to invest is really what I'm getting in something, because you connect with it emotionally, and you wanted to kind of create, like, give this situation or this person another, like, an opportunity that they would not normally get, right? Because this is kind of what I'm feeling like this is a hidden treasure, and you saw the potential in this. And I feel like this, you investing in this, triggered the hell out of whoever is involved in this situation. And because we have 3 people, this could involve you and 2 other people, or this could be, like I said, this is why I'm thinking a workplace. You could have multiple coworkers, or like a family unit, just because there's multiple people. It doesn't have to be, though. But this to me is like you tried to invest in this person, in this situation. You saw like the truth of this, and I feel as if you tried to you tried to put an offer out there. And what I feel like happened with this energy is that your offer got slapped down super duper hard. I don't know if you could hear my shoulder, by the way, but it cracked. It like went off like a gunshot, because apparently I've reached that age where my body sounds like this, and this is just kind of where we are. I was gonna move that for you guys a little bit, try to avoid the glare. So it's a little too far over now. Shoot. All right, I'm doing my best. And I feel like this is what triggered this kind of 5 of Swords energy, because then we have these 3 cards. Again, you could be dealing with a masculine earth sign, particularly heavy Taurus emphasis. And I feel like, you know, the 8 of Pentacles upright is about, you know, working super duper hard, putting in the effort, honing your craft. You know, you're putting in the long hours. You're really making an effort because you're trying to build something really solid and stable, and like something that is will come to fruition, you know, within for yourself or for others. So these 3 together, and this also too, the Hierophant can talk about commitments. It can also talk about it can talk about commitments. It can talk about like structure. It can talk about, you know, more like traditional viewpoints. And so with this reverse, you know what's really interesting? There's this little like fries and the little soda in this deck. This image is on the Devil, and this image is on the 2 of Cups. So again, this is what makes me think this might be a relationship to some extent, is that it's kind of like going back and forth between, it's like a Jekyll and Hyde kind of feeling. Like this could either be really like toxic, and I could be drawn into this just because of like, you know, karmic lessons that need to be learned, or there could really be this soul-based connection. So I feel like you gave this situation a shot. And again, it doesn't have to be a relationship. It's just anything you're very emotionally invested in. I feel like it could have gone either way, and it ended up going more the way, like the karmic way, more the way of the Devil card, and it kind of like came back to bite you in the butt. And with all this earth energy kind of reverse, this is like, it's very ungrounded, very destabilizing is what I'm picking up on. So I want to pull some more tarot to kind of look a little bit closer at this, because now I'm nosy and I want to know. Oh, shoot. Okay. All right, so we have the Wheel of Fortune reverse. Yeah, okay. This is also one that wants to come out. And this one. Nice. All right. Yeah, you know what's really interesting? We have the 2 bacon strips that are crossed, and in this deck that's the 2 of Swords, and bam, that's at the bottom. And we have the 2 swords on the ground here too. So I feel like whatever is happening has left you kind of like frozen and confused, like what the hell is going on? Yeah, okay. So we have the Wheel of Fortune reversed. This deck is seriously making me hungry, you guys. Like, so hungry. We have the 7 of Pentacles reversed. And we have the Magician reverse. Okay. I feel like I'm not telling you anything you don't already know, so I hope it doesn't come across as uncaring or crass. I'm just going to cut to the chase here. With this situation the way it is, and all the cards that are coming out the way they are, and like, you know, it's interesting that we have all reversals here just because I shuffled the deck and there's a mixture, but all of these are reversed. So with things coming out the way they are, I feel like things have just not been going your way. I feel like it feels like the rug was pulled out from under you. I know this isn't the Tower card, but I'm almost kind of getting that feeling of like, like, again, you know, this either could be my destiny in a good way with this little Two of Cups image, or this could be my destiny in like a crappy way because of this karmic kind of tie, this like toxic energy with that devil image here. And this is what I feel like is being talked about, is that sometimes, you know, we are led to experiences that aren't super pleasant because there are important lessons for us in that. And I feel like there is a lesson in here for you. I feel like about valuing your own time is really what I'm getting, and valuing your own counsel with the High Priestess here. Really trusting your intuition. Because we then also have sorry, I thought I was going to burp. We also have the Seven of Pentacles reversed. Now, this is when you've already invested in a situation and you're kind of trying to get a feel for if it's going to be a fruitful endeavor. When it's upright, this suggests that, you know, keep investing, your efforts are soon to pay off. When it's reversed, this is really talking about how this isn't going anywhere. And again, we have another international flag. We have the Italian flag here as well. So I don't know if, you know, maybe this is a situation that involves a lot of travel, or people from different parts of the world, and there's like maybe culture clashes, etc. But just because we had 3 different international flags pop up, that's what made me think of it. And then we have the Magician reversed, and this is all about self-empowerment. This is Mercury energy, so you could be dealing with a Gemini or a Virgo as well. Again, heavy earth energy here, or that could be you. But this is really talking about like a very self-empowered new beginning. We have a 10 here and we have a 1. And so what I feel like is happening is that this is really saying like, I feel like you made a gesture, made an effort, really invested in something with this like feeling of, you know, seeing its merit, seeing its value, seeing its potential, and really wanting to invest out of the goodness of your heart, really wanting to give it a shot, especially if this was like an opportunity or a relationship or a project that everybody else kind of didn't see the purpose of or kind of turned their nose up at. I feel like you called it. You had a good idea. And I feel like what Spirit's really trying to show you here is that A, this situation is not really coming to fruition. This is not really going to turn itself around at this time. And B, this also is a sign to trust your intuition. I know it might be like, well, you know, I intuitively felt like there was something here and I took a chance on this and ended up in this crappy situation, so how can I trust my intuition? And I think it's really, really important, and this is the truth I feel like the High Priestess energy is working with you on, is that, you know, the universe gives us a lot of opportunities and we can either choose to accept them or decline them. And if there are opportunities that involve other people, we have the free will of multiple people involved. So you may have, you know, this is essentially encouraging you not to doubt your intuition. You are intuitively drawn toward this situation for a reason, right? Which means there's either a lesson in it and or just because this other person didn't follow these prompts, didn't see what you were trying to offer, didn't value the opportunity, it doesn't mean that that makes you wrong. And it doesn't mean your intuition is wrong. It may also just mean that they are not on the same spiritual wavelength and they are not ready. So I want to pull you guys a couple of cards of advice. I want this one. No, it's not that one. It's this one. Okay. So, y'all got... okay, Temperance. I think that's funny because Temperance is about balance in part, and we have balance right here. Yeah, we have the Four of Wands reversed. This feels like a mess. Oh, honey. Okay, so really what this is saying to me, it's interesting. We have card 14, so that's another 5. Really what this is saying to me is that it's really interesting because I always associate apples with like that kind of like, you know, Adam and Eve storyline. I always associate them equally with knowledge and health to a certain extent, as well as with temptation. And so it's interesting where we kind of have like, we have these two sides of the road where there's like the sun and there's this lightning, there's a snake here, again, very much with that sort of similar imagery, that Eden imagery, and then there's Isaac Newton and he's studying. And so again, this feels like this could have gone either way, right? And with the mess here too, this is an ice cream truck, but I always think, I don't know if you can see it, I always think it looks like an ambulance every single time. And really what I'm seeing here is that there is this need to find balance. There is this need to kind of find equilibrium and to try to find healing in that. And traditionally on the Temperance card, it's Archangel Gabriel, and he's got the 2 cups, and he's like blending, he's making alchemy, he's making magic, and blending up the energies to create something that's like a perfect, balanced, beautiful opportunity. And so I always think it's interesting whenever it comes up, because it's the 2 of Cups, and that again is like this soul-based opportunity. We have another reference to the 2 of Cups right here. And so again, what I'm seeing here is to try to find healing, because there is traditionally on this card the presence of the 2 cups, right? This could have been very healthy. This could have been, really illuminating. This could have been, all of the best things that this imagery kind of evokes, right? This could have been a really, really good thing, but it ended up going the other way, right? It ended up kind of becoming more of this devil energy, more of this snake, and it ended up kind of biting you a little bit. And with, coming out with the mess, the 4 of Wands reversed, what I'm kind of getting is, first of all, this reverse, this can talk about a personal victory. So this may have been like a spiritual turning point or lesson for you, but especially where this ice cream truck always makes me think of an ambulance. There are some people, or there are some lessons for some people that you can't help them with. They have to learn it themselves. Right? So you may have been trying to come in, especially with the 2 4s here, you may have been trying to come in and offer somebody something, or, kind of take up a cause, really do something that you felt emotionally drawn to, right? You felt like this was the perfect opportunity for you. You could have really been going out on a limb and trying to help people, trying to, make the situation better, make the, kind of, I don't know. You could have been trying to really act out of, and as I'm saying this, it's 2222 on my camera, so take that as you will. But, you could have been really, really going out of your way to try to be helpful, to try to be, a net positive in this situation. And there are just going to be some people who, or, like I said, some situations for some people where you just can't help them. And with the 3 different colors too, I feel like there are a lot of layers to the situation that you're not yet aware of. But I feel like whoever else this involved, especially this kind of person, this energy, they have to figure this part out by themselves. They have to do this part by themselves. And that's, nobody can do it for them. And that doesn't make you wrong. That doesn't make it, that doesn't mean you've done anything. It doesn't mean you veered off course, you've done anything wrong, or you've made the wrong judgment call. It just means sometimes people aren't ready yet. It's just that simple. So this is really what I'm seeing. If you are interested, like I said, in this reading for yourself personally, I do offer that. The link is in the description box. I find this to be super fun reading, but also really, really helpful. And there's a lot of content here too, so I can understand if this is a difficult situation and you're looking for a little bit more kind of specified guidance. Other than that, I am wishing y'all the best and the most beautiful things that life has to offer. I'm wishing you incredible luck and lots of love moving forward. Take care, love bugs. Bye. Yo, what is up, my sweet little garbanzo beans? Welcome to everybody who was drawn into group 2 with the 6 of Cups. Look at them. They're so beautiful. So, kind of touching on some of the themes we talked about before. If you were drawn into the second group with the 6 of Cups, this could talk about your past. This could talk about this need to kind of look at something that you feel a lot of nostalgia for with fresh eyes. But really what I'm picking up on is that this involves a very special soulmate connection in your life. Now, not all soulmates are romantic. So this could be a friendship, this could be somebody in your family, but this also could be a romantic soulmate. And this is somebody I feel like you are going through some type of shift with, some type of renewal. So it doesn't have to be that you were fighting, but maybe you've kind of just like not been on the same page. You might have been at a distance from one another and you're being reunited. This could also really talk about, I'm kind of picking up this energy of like reminiscing. So maybe, you and this person did something or are going to do something that you used to do together, right? It's kind of like this like nice walk down memory lane, essentially. It's a very sweet energy. I'm kind of tuning in a little bit more. Somebody may also have a gift for you. And so the thing with the Six of Cups I really like, if you notice, the little girl's got her mittens on. There we go. But the little boy has bare hands, right? So to me, whenever I see the Six of Cups, when somebody's making you this offer, this emotionally fulfilling or emotionally charged offer, they're doing so honestly because they do so with kind of like an open hand, so to speak. So any kind of offers that come forth may come forth from a soulmate connection. So this could be somebody new in your life. And if that's the case, this is somebody you feel like an automatic kinship with. I feel like this is somebody who you can like do nostalgic things of your past with, and it almost feels like it makes sense, right? Like maybe like you guys will have like a, I don't know, you guys will have like a lazy day where you like watch all the favorite shows and movies you watched as a kid, or you like do arts and crafts projects together that you used to do, or like, I don't know, it's something kind of like that. It's just this really, really innocent, sweet energy. And so if this is like a new person in your life, this is somebody who it feels like you grew up with them even when you didn't. And this might just be the energy. This might have to directly relate to the things that you do together. Or if this is somebody from your past, I feel that this is like either a rekindling, a reconnection, or this is kind of like a revival of your connection. You're finding the sweetness and the innocence. So with that, I'm going to pull you guys a major arcana card to kind of look at what energy is influencing you at this time in this situation. I have a separate deck. I shuffled out all the major arcana so I can shuffle and pull from here. And then I have a separate tarot deck to look a little bit closer at it after we get through your major arcana and your oracle cards that go with it. So let's see what you guys get. This is much different energy than group one. This is a lot nicer, honestly. And this also could be a reconciliation as well. So if you've kind of been like, and if that's the case, this is somebody who I feel like you just haven't really been in contact with, haven't really been in communication with. It doesn't feel like there is like a fracture or like a fight or a breakup or something like that. It just kind of feels like you've both been leading your own separate lives, maybe like as adults, and you're kind of connecting with this like this innocence and this sweetness. So let's see. Okay, you have the Justice card. I mentioned this prior. Normally I read reversals for tarot cards, but just for the major arcana card itself, I am opting not to. So this is somebody that you may have had a karmic contract with, and the karma has been resolved. This also could be a situation where if you've gone your separate ways, one or both of you had a karmic contract that needed to be fulfilled and resolved, and it now has. But this is also where, especially because we have the Sword of Truth and it's blue here, and there's blue on both of their outfits, this is something where I feel both of you have kind of come into some type of awareness, some type of truth, and it's put you in this like even balanced place, right? Because the number 6 is a lot of the times about balance and reciprocity. And so, you know, especially too with the little boy giving the little girl a cup, maybe this is a connection where you were putting in more effort than the other person, or vice versa, because this is general and these things do kind of sometimes go back and forth. But there may have been some type of iniquity, and this like either time apart or kind of like cool off period or pause or whatever else was coming up was kind of a time to shed some light on the situation and help one or both of you see it from a new perspective. And so when you come back to it, when you kind of have more of this reconciliation, this reconnection, and if this is a new person in your life, this comes on the heels of a karmic cycle closing off. Whatever this, you know, this is, you're coming into this connection or coming back to this connection from like a much more renewed place, because it feels like there is all of this kind of like, I guess I'm going to say like again, like the rigors of adulthood, like there's all this sort of like heavy, you know, kind of like more grown up feeling energies, and this feels very lighthearted and very simple, right? This feels very like, it feels like you went from, you know, like your grown up selves, very complicated and overcomplicated to a certain extent, to this very sweet simplicity. It's just getting a lot easier. So I really like that. Let's pull you guys a Secret Activations Sacred Geometry Activations Oracle card to kind of look a little bit closer at this. Dig a little deeper. I don't want that one. That's not it. Well, okay, you guys got 2. Apparently. Ooh, so you guys got Alchemy and the Merkaba. So Alchemy is card 8, and this is: the frequency of alchemy activates our magical ability and remembrance of the magic that we all hold inside. Each one of us has the potential to access the ancient knowledge that allowed the true alchemist to perform miracles of transmutation. So yeah, and again, we have this almost like balance kind of feeling with this sort of magic between the two. And so something else I'm kind of getting with this image is that if this is like a relationship that's kind of coming back around, what I feel like was happening is that this relationship may have been unintentionally very unbalanced or also very codependent. And I feel like now, this also could talk about like a childhood sweetheart where you're reconnecting. I feel like now, after whatever it is that you guys have been through, either in union or in separation, things are much more balanced, and this is a healthier, like healthy interdependent relationship. It's not hyper independent, nor is it codependent. Because I feel like you guys have had some really important realizations and experiences that have expanded your conscious awareness when it comes to relationships and matters of the heart. And once again, if this was unbalanced prior, where one person was giving more than the other, this is now coming into a solid, balanced awareness. So if you have separated from this person because they weren't pulling their weight, doing their share, and they come back with an offer, this is something I would trust. This is not something, and I'm not saying like they're magically going to be perfect, but they're very sincere and they are willing to work with you. They are really interested in being very forthright, very honest, especially about what they can and can't do, and trying to create balance and reciprocity as much as possible. So it'll almost be like as if by magic, this situation is being transmuted and changed. So you guys also got the Merkaba, which is card 32, so that would reduce to a 5. And it says the frequency of the Merkaba supports our ability to use our consciousness to traverse into other layers of reality and dimensions. It activates our access to our Akashic inheritance as well, merging the totality of our experiences into our present to serve our highest purpose. Yes. Okay. So let me just make sure you guys can see. Yeah, okay. So this is very much, especially with all the green here, and the blue, this is a lot about the heart and throat chakra. There's a lot here about emotional truth. This is why I feel like either, it's been a long period of separation, you're just meeting this person, or it's been kind of like contentious for a long time, is because I feel like there had to be some other experiences that one or both of you needed to go through in order to come back to this and take like the totality of your experiences and merge into a healthier dynamic, because there had to be this evolution of your consciousness through this karmic contract, and through this experience. And this will be different for each and every one of you, and again, this could be you or your person. Excuse me. And I've never noticed, I don't know if you guys can see, there's a person walking away right here. They look salty. So again, this may have involved another person. This could have been like, this is like a childhood sweetheart. You went your separate ways. One or both of you have had kind of a karmic contract that you needed to resolve, and you're coming back to this. Or if you're meeting this person, they may have, one or both of you may have recently kind of gone through a breakup. But there is this very important, and I'm hearing crucial and essential experience that one or both of you needed to have in order to create spiritual balance, like within this connection. So let's pull you guys some tarot and look a little bit closer at this, because this is really fascinating to me right now. I can't look away, you guys. Okay. Come on, little third card. You're hiding. No, it's not that one. It's this one. Haha. Bam. Okay, so you have, this would be the 5 of Swords. Y'all, I love this deck, but it's making me so hungry. I should not have skipped lunch before I did this reading. The 5 of Swords, which is super interesting too, because the 5 of Swords was the identifying card for the first group. You have the Page of Pentacles reversed. Look at you. Okay, and you have the High Priestess reversed. That's fascinating because group 1 got the High Priestess as their card. Alrighty, I'm gonna be, yeah, I don't see a ton of connection between the two themes, but if you were torn between groups 1 and 2, you might want to go back and watch 1 as well, because there might be an additional message for you there. But, okay, what I'm seeing here, again, we have the Five of Swords, and this is, I was talking about this extensively in group 1, but this is a really challenging energy. This is very much like what I feel to be kind of like a karmic energy, in addition to some of the other more karmic relationship cards, like the Devil, for example. Just because this is an energy of a lot of like mental or communicative conflict, right? So with another person, this is kind of like, especially too, because this version of the card, there's 2 different suns that are like equally, like they're, I don't know if you can see, they're pointing at one another and they're like equally matched, but this one's yellow and this one's orange. And to me, this is like the clashing of two egos, right? Because it's the sun. Sorry, I'm trying to get it to stand up straight, but it is just not doing what I want it to do today. Well, that's as good as we're going to get it. Sorry, y'all. But this is like the clashing of 2 egos who are both, equally powerful in their own right. And especially, too, because it looks like a road, but this is actually a river. And so it feels like there was, this was a situation with another person where there was like it was very emotionally charged. And it felt like you couldn't, there was a gap that was too wide to be able to cross, right? There was too much emotion to be able to bridge the gap. And so this is kind of the situation that I feel has elapsed either prior to you meeting this person or in the period of time you've been separated. And this could be on your end, this could be on their end, this could be both. Excuse me. It just depends on your personal circumstances. And this is kind of, I feel like with the Page of Pentacles reversed and then the High Priestess reversed, first of all, this could have to do with like a workplace situation. I'm also picking up this could have to do with like somebody they're co-parenting with, because the pages are all about like, this is the child archetype of the court cards, and we have children depicted here as well. So this could involve children, does not have to be, but, and the Pentacles too can talk about our material world, so this could talk about home and family. This could talk about your career, the things you own, but also the things you value. And so the first thing I was picking up on with these 2 together is that this karmic situation, it had to unfold the way it did because it had to reveal a truth, right? And to me, this is like, the Page of Pentacles is kind of called like a spiritual seeker or like a mini hermit sometimes. But what I'm really seeing here is that it had to reveal this truth about what you, and again, whether this is for you or the other person, what you or this other person wanted to build, right? Because the page ideally is going to evolve into the knight and then into the queen or king. And it's all about what you want to build, what you value, what is secure for you, what you want to establish. And so coming out here with the Justice card, and I totally forgot to say this, I really apologize. This is Libra energy, so you might be a Libra or dealing with one. And we also have Earth energy, Taurus, Virgo, Capricorn, in case that is important or significant. And the High Priestess I often regard as Piscean energy. Just as a side note, in case those resonate, it's totally fine if they don't. But I feel like this karmic situation that had to come to like a completion, but I keep wanting to do this, so I'm going to say come full circle, really was meant to show you or your person or both of you what you value, right? And I feel like this was difficult. This was like, it's like by coming to this impasse with this other person where you couldn't really go any further with them. It was really opening your eyes to, especially with like, again, the ego clashes and the struggle here. It was really opening your eyes to what it is that you wanted. Again, whether this is you or your person or both of you, it just made you or them or both very, very clear on what was the most important thing to you, what you wanted to with this alchemy card, what you wanted to create moving forward. So that's super interesting. I'm going to pull more cards because I am spiritually nosy as hell. All right, bam. Oh, okay. 2 fell out. Yeah, here we go. Okay, so you got the 4 of Swords, I love this version of it for some reason. You got the, wow, you got the Justice card reversed. Interesting. Okay, I like it. And then the Three of Pentacles. So yeah, this is exactly what we're talking about. Four of Swords here. This could talk about a time of separation or no contact. If this is somebody you've yet to meet, I feel as if you've both kind of been in this almost hermit mode, this place of contemplation. You could have both been healing from this situation with this Five of Swords energy. But, you know, really what I'm seeing here is there is this pause, whether internally or between the two of you. And once again, this is in order to, you know, this is the Justice card reversed. This is for this, because this karmic contract had not been resolved, right? And with the pyramids here too, this could go back to past life issues that like talk about lives in ancient Egypt. These could be very old karmic lessons and contracts that needed to be resolved. Like they had to be resolved is kind of what I'm getting. And so I feel like, again, because we were talking about ego clashes here, I feel like, and I'm kind of feeling this is more from your person. I feel like your person may have kind of had a little bit of a big ego, or they might have been kind of prone to like slightly controlling behavior sometimes. And this isn't out of an attempt to try to control you or control other people, but to try to make themselves feel more secure by being able to control the situation. And I feel like they had to go through this karmic situation with this other person, because I do feel like this person was kind of like, you know, it's got to go my way. It's got to, you know, it's got to be like this. It's on my terms. You know, again, it's like there was an imbalance. There's this huge lack of, like, glaring is what I'm hearing, glaring lack of reciprocity. So you may have gotten along well in every other scenario, every other situation, but excuse me. There may have been one or two areas where it was just such an imbalance of power, and I feel like prior this person refused to kind of like to give in or to concede or compromise. And again, as well, if you have yet to meet this person, this is the energy this person's been working through this karmic contract. They've been working on deciding what they truly value and what they want to cultivate and what is worth making compromises on, because I do feel like your person has like some wounding around making compromises in particular, just because we also have Libra energy represented twice here. So again, balance, compromise, partnership, concession. But the result of this is that now with the Three of Pentacles, this person has had a total shift. And it's interesting, we have the river right here, we have this river right here, and then we have this like ocean, right? So I feel like this person has had a lot more, and there's like a little bit of water right here too. I feel like this person's been like emotionally opened up in a major way. And this person has kind of like had a reckoning, because the Three of Pentacles is all about teamwork and it's all about compromise and working together. And this person wants to work together with you. And yet again, if you have yet to meet this person's been going through this situation on their own, in their own lives, and this has made them incredibly open toward compromise, toward teamwork, toward partnership. They are willing to do the work because they really see the value, and especially with all the different foods in the bowl here, I feel like this person is willing to work with a lot of moving parts. This person's willing to really put in the effort to meet you part way, even if it's a complicated situation. So I just want to pull you guys a couple of cards of advice real quick. Oh, Jesus. That's too many of those cards of advice. That was like 8 cards. This one. Oh, sorry about my burp. It was a very small burp, but okay. There we go. Yeah, there's the Five of Cups at the bottom. So they've kind of suffered a loss or some type of grief, but with the 2 cups remaining, because I really like this in this version of the 5 cups, 2 have spilled over, right? This is like a relationship that's fallen apart, but then there's 2 left standing. So there is still this opportunity to create something beautiful, and I feel like they're waking up to that. So for advice, you got the World reversed. And you have the moon reversed. You have 2 major arcana. This is Cancerian energy, as we were just kind of talking about. So a lot of water, a lot of Cancer Pisces energy here. If this is somebody from your past with the world, this is really saying that this is not over. This has never been over for them. And with the moon reverse, this is becoming incredibly clear. This also talks about them overcoming their fears in a major way. And really like seeing things clearly that they could not see before. If this is somebody new coming into your life, I do feel like this is talking about, with the world reversed, this is really talking about them wrapping up this cycle and really working through these fears and these subconscious blocks in order to make this work with you. Because with the 3 of Pentacles, the impetus is there. They want to do this, but they're trying to kind of work through how to make that happen, how to integrate this into how they understand how to have relationships. And for many of you, this is going to kind of revolve around going back to this sort of innocence, this sweetness in terms of interpersonal relationships, because I feel like they've now kind of been put through a mini version of hell in order to get them to really think about what they value and what they're willing to do to maintain what they value. They're really working through, again, these major subconscious blocks and fears, because I kind of feel like this person, whether you know them or not yet, this person has had a lot of wounding, a lot of like childhood wounding, especially around the concept of like compromise, right? So maybe that was like a thing in their home growing up where like one parent gave up everything and the other one didn't, do anything, or maybe they had like this really, they were always like serving, their parents or other family members. They were always like giving, and they just had this like really crummy relationship that kind of caused them to be like, well fine, if nobody else is trying this hard, then why am I, right? There's something here, and I feel like this has to do with, again, subconscious blocks, fears, and emotional wounds. And because it's the moon, I'm inclined to think this is like related to their mothering and their own remothering of themselves. And I feel like they're working through this and getting in touch with those emotions. So this is what I have for you at this time. I hope this has been helpful. If you're interested in this reading for yourself or any of my other readings, please feel free to check out the links in the description box. And I'm wishing y'all the best, the most beautiful things that life has to offer. Take care, love bugs. Bye. What is up to all of my sweet little garbanzo beans who are attracted to group 3 with this 7 of Cups? Welcome to your reading about what major arcana card is influencing you at this time. So what major arcana energy is really working with you at this time to help you through this situation or period of time in your life? So kind of like what we talked about before, being drawn into group 3 with the 7 of Cups. I feel like there are a lot of options in front of you. You have a lot of paths, and you have some type of feelings or emotional reaction and attachment to all of them, whether positive or negative. And it feels like it's kind of hard for you to sort of separate out what's going on or suss out what options to choose. And this reading is really going to try to be like helping you figure out or get some clarity and insight about what's going on in your situation. I stumbled over my words so bad, but there we are. That's what it is. So I have already pulled out all of the major arcana out of one deck and shuffled them. I have a separate tarot deck that I'm going to use to look a little bit deeper, so that way we were working with all the cards. So let's pull you guys a major arcana and get a little bit more insight about what's going on. What major arcana is with group 3 today? Well, not just today, but lately, at this time. Okay, so you guys actually got 2. All the other groups got 1. I'm going to take them both just because. So you may resonate with one or both of these. We'll see what comes out. You guys got, Justice. Okay. Interesting. And I will say this too, normally I do read upright and reversal for tarot, so for the clarifying tarot I will, but just for the actual energy itself, I'm going to only read these ones upright. And the Star. Okay, so interestingly enough, the Justice card came out for pile 2. So if you were like torn between 2 and 3, you might want to consider, just depending on what else is going on in the cards. I don't know if you can see. Hang on. Let's try this. Sorry with the glare. I tilt it this way. Can you guys see it better? Slightly, I'm sorry. It's not a perfect setup, but there we go. That's better. Okay. I like it. Okay. So we have Libra energy here, by the way, and Aquarius energy. There's a lot of air energy going on. So while I do feel like there's a lot of kind of like emotional confusion here, I feel like you're up in your head about it pretty considerably. And I feel like the reason why with this with the star coming out here is, excuse me, not that. With the star coming out, I feel like this is because whatever this is revolving around a wish. This is revolving around something you've just been really like desperately wanting. And I feel like you're trying to stay maybe detached or like very, excuse me, very, what's the word I'm thinking of, you guys? Oh gosh. Trying to like have good discernment essentially and not have your emotions cloud your judgment potentially, especially with this Justice. Like you're really trying to weigh out all your options and find the best one, because he's got the blue on the Sword of Truth, and then there's a little blue over his third eye, right? And there's a lot of blue over here and here. So there's a lot here about trying to let divine truth guide your decision making, but I do feel like it's hard because there is this energy of really wanting something, right? Really wanting to like maybe pick the best path, or, you know, having a goal for yourself and having multiple ways to get there. And like this kind of feels like this is like precariously perched. This kind of feels like you have like one shot at this, and you don't want to mess it up, right? Because I don't know if y'all have ever noticed with the Seven of Cups, there's, excuse me, there's this one cup that has a laurel wreath in it, but if you look super duper close, there's a skull on the cup, right? So whenever I see this, this is like an option where it looks like it would lead to success, but it actually leads to death. Like it actually leads to an ending. It might be like kind of a dead end, or it's like going to transform into something else. And so I feel like, especially I don't know why I'm really drawn to look right here, what I'm kind of picking up is that I feel like there is confusion, there's a lot of moving parts, and I feel like you're aware that you don't have the full picture. And it's like almost producing a little bit of anxiety because this desire looms so large in your heart. And you're trying to be very, gosh, I still can't remember the word. I was hoping it was going to come out. But again, very, you know, very discerning and not letting your emotions sway your decision making. So let us pull y'all, if I can pick up the deck, a Sacred Geometry Activations Oracle card to kind of get a little more information. Dig a little deeper, baby. All right, it's this one. Oh, and at the bottom is romantic love. Okay, so you may have a lot of options, whether this is a lot of different people or a lot of different options for how to carry out a relationship with somebody. Or this could be that you have many options in your life right now, but there is this emotional attachment to an idea or a person, like a romantic potential, that's influencing your decision. Because it does kind of feel like, what I'm kind of picking up is that for some of you, there may be somebody who is on the scene in your life, and you may, like, I feel like this person's pretty new, or this person came back, and it may be something where, you know, you had all these plans for yourself, for, you know, maybe you wanted to go travel, you wanted to just like be really focused on your career, really focusing on your spirituality, your own healing, and then boom, this romantic relationship potential appears in your life, and now you kind of have to like weigh your options with this person and your emotional connection with this person in the forefront of your mind. And I feel like you're trying to be very like detached and reserved a little bit, and not be overwhelmed or swayed by your emotions, you know, like lest it be infatuation, right? But with the star here, I do really feel like there is this significant wish. This also might talk about the like two wishes that you have. So like, let's say to really, you know, if you got this like promotion, or there is this promotion that you really wanted, but you also have this person coming into your life, and you kind of only have the energy to really focus on one thing at a time. This really feels like trying to pick the best choice for yourself, and being a little bit confused because there's emotional attachment in multiple directions. So just want to share that. But you guys got of course, you guys got change. Okay, and it says, the frequency of change supports our ability to gracefully dance with the forever changing nature of reality, both inward and outward, so that we can appreciate the sweet release of the old and the birth of the new. Yup. Okay, so with this change card coming out, this is pretty much what we were already picking up on. There is this shift that has to happen, and I feel at this time that you're trying to navigate what the best course of action is here. And again, with 2 air sign cards coming out, I feel like you're trying to be very emotionally detached, or at least keep your emotions in check. But I do feel like there are a lot of different conflicting feelings that are clouding this decision in multiple directions. And this is really talking about, especially with the squares kind of being around the circle here, to me, this is really talking about that everything moves in cycles. Spirit wouldn't put anything in your path that you weren't ready to be exposed to. Right? And so this doesn't mean that, as soon as we have exposure to something along our soul's journey, that we are necessarily ready for it or ready to maintain it long term. But this is in your life for a reason. And what I'm seeing with the circle in the square here is that these cycles need to move on. And by pausing too long or not taking any action at all, because it's kind of about like analysis paralysis or choice paralysis, by not taking any action at all, not only are you essentially still kind of like, not making a choice is a choice, right? Not only are you kind of in that dilemma, but you're also sort of like gumming up the works on this natural flow of energy, especially like with the squares here too. This is really saying that change is a natural part of this life, right? Of this life journey of being human. And that by getting so like paralyzed by what decision to make or which choice is going to be the best choice, we sometimes really deny ourselves the richness and the vastness of the learning experience and opportunity can bring to us. So this is kind of just saying that there is change that's happening. And especially what I'm feeling like is that if there's something that's come along that you've been wishing for, it doesn't really behoove you to trying to remain balanced is a great thing. That's a good thing. But it doesn't behoove you to try so hard to be detached from your emotions, especially emotions of joy, excitement, enthusiasm, desire, longing, to the point where you're not moving forward at all, right? And especially with the star here too, this is really about your divinely guided path. And this is kind of talking about that any changes that come up, any changes to like the plan that come up, are part, like at this time, are part of your path, right? And ultimately you have free will to decide what direction you want to go. But essentially if you're if you're having a really, really hard time to the point where you're like stressing yourself out over what direction to take, it's worthwhile to consider the fact when you're weighing your options that all paths are going to lead to growth, and thus all are good decisions for you at a soul level, right? This is also really talking about, if I feel like there's this fear of repeating karmic lessons, and this is saying in that situation that no, your karmic cycles, your karmic contracts are currently balanced. And so any decisions that you make at this time or soon are going to be coming more from the soul and less from the ego, right? Or more based in soul experiences and less based in like ego experiences, right? They're more about life lessons and growth rather than karmic lessons or potentially rebalancing or repaying a debt. I don't personally view karma like that, which is the only reason why I sounded kind of hesitant. But if for those of you who do that, I see that theme playing out here. So let's pull you some tarot and kind of dig a little deeper, see if we can give you a little more info here. I feel very decisive when I'm shuffling with this deck or with this group, and I didn't before. Yeah, the moon is at the bottom. It's hard for you to see clearly. Again, this is like a mini version of the moon card, so yeah. But I feel very decisive. So again, I feel like you're trying to be very, very much in your head while you're making this decision, and very conscientious of your emotions lest they overpower you. So I also too want to say with the moon coming up at the bottom with this justice energy, if you've made decisions in the past that have kind of reflected some subconscious patterns that have led to these very challenging karmic situations, I feel like there's this fear of repeating that, and Spirit kind of wants to point out that karma has been, that contract has been resolved. So it's not saying you won't really deal with that energy again, but it's not going to come out of your blind spot like it may have in the past. And that's only for some of you, but I did want to share. So we have, the Judgment card reversed. Not surprised. We have the Lovers reversed. God, so on point, man. Okay. And we have the Ace of Swords. Oh, I'm so excited for you guys. Hell yeah. This is beautiful. Okay, so this is pretty straightforward. First of all, I want to mention we have Gemini energy here. So now we have all the air signs, lots of air, and with the Ace of Swords, more air energy. But with the Lovers here too, this is always, in addition to talking about divinely guided and inspired partnerships, this is all about the other meaning behind this is making a choice. And with this being reversed, this is talking about having made that choice. And when making that decision, always making that decision based on what is true to you in your heart, what's true at the in your heart space, what is real to you at the at an emotional level, at the heart and soul. Because when you make decisions based on what you love, it's ultimately going to have more longevity to it. And I mean like what you truly love, not what you fear losing, not what you feel obligated to, but what you truly love, where you want to be at the end of the day. With the campfire here, what really lights a spark in your soul, right? And with the wall here on the extra firm one, the Judgment card, is, I feel like this has been a long journey. There have been a lot of, especially with the little towers here, lots of points here, lots of little mini tower moments leading to this, right? So I will say, because romantic love was at the bottom of that other deck, if somebody has come into your life, or you're debating kind of starting up a relationship with somebody, I do feel like there is a strong romantic lean here. It does not have to be, but regardless of whether this is romantic or not, with the Judgment card reversed, this is really a call to trust your judgment, right? Because the Judgment card can also be about a life review, really looking at where you've been, where you are, where you're going. But I feel that that's almost getting you into hot water here and causing this analysis paralysis, right? So because of how this has come out, I'm really seeing that Spirit is calling you to trust your gut instincts, trust your judgment, and when in doubt, when you're trying to make decisions, always choose with what is real to you in your heart and soul, what is real to you emotionally, what just lights a fire within you, what sparks that kind of happiness. And look at that, there's no water here, right? We have water on the star, and we have water here, and so much water here. There's even for a Swords card about the mind, there's a lot of water, there's a lot of emotions, and there's a lot of intuitive energy here. And so this is really saying, if you kind of start to look at your options through this lens of, A, really trusting your judgment, and B, always making sure you choose based on what it is that you truly deeply love, you will never go wrong. But also with the Ace of Swords here, I feel like there may be an important conversation that kind of helps affirm or reaffirm your decision, or affirm what you were thinking about, whatever you were thinking about going with. This can talk about having that breakthrough, having clarity. So this is clarity in the mind. And again, this is kind of the energy I'm picking up on here, is that as you decide what it is that you love more than anything else, what it is you can devote yourself to, mind, body, spirit, heart, and soul, that is when this clarity will come in, and you will know which way to go. You will know what direction to choose. And it's going to be different just for all of you. And then, oh gosh, there was one other thing I was going to say about it. Shoot, what was I going to say? I think I already mentioned, but this might be an important conversation that you might have, or this may be that you've made this decision and you've had this breakthrough, and then that's when you're able to communicate about it, and this change can come in for you and move the energy forward, move the cycle forward. So I want to pull more tarot and get more information, because I'm nosy as hell. Yeah, that is one. Okay. I like how the tarot cards just jump dramatically. They're take me with you. Okay, so y'all got this thing, Wheel of Fortune reversed. Wow, you got the Justice card. You know what's so weird about this is that the Justice card in this deck came out for the last group too. So they got Justice as their major arcana, and then they got the Justice card, but it was reversed. So there's kind of like some general themes going through all the decks today. That's super interesting. And then y'all got, wow, you guys got the Star. Holy crap. Okay, cool. I'm just dying a little bit right now. Can I also say, of your 6 cards here, you have 5 major arcana and an ace. So I can see why this is challenging, because this feels very like big and important, but it feels like there's a lot to sift through here. With the this thing, Wheel of Fortune, sorry, that was really hard for me. With the Wheel of Fortune reversed, first and foremost, I feel like things have not gone your way in the past again. I feel like you may have made a decision in the past or had a karmic contract that you had to resolve in the past, and it may have kind of kicked your butt, taken you for a little bit of a ride. Things did not work out in your favor. Things were not going your way. There was a lack of serendipity, etc., etc. And I feel like this is what makes you kind of like a little bit afraid to move forward. Again, this energy of thought it would lead to victory, but it in fact just led to nowhere, led to an ending, led to an ego death of some sort, which are necessary to our spiritual growth, but often very challenging. But with the Justice card coming out upright, especially twice, this is really talking about how this karmic debt, this karmic contract has been paid. And once again, you have learned your lessons. You have seen this truth that you were being encouraged to see. And decisions that you make moving forward, not saying, that you'll never have any difficulties or anything like that, but for this part of your journey moving forward, the decisions you make are going to be a lot easier because you've already learned the lesson. So like even if you made a choice and it turned out to not be the best, the situation that you want to be in, you'll be able to spot that in a way that you couldn't spot it before because you've learned from your experiences. And because of that, this is also helping you navigate to get toward your wish with the Star coming out again. And it's worth noting that look at how like uneven and like gravelly the path looks here. So the road to this ultimate fulfillment, to your destiny, to your divinely inspired and guided path and your soul's wishes is not always going to be a smooth one. It's not always going to be an easy one. And it's interesting because we have a paved road here and a paved road or like a smooth road here, right? And so this to me kind of talks about how it kind of feels like you walked into these situations, or that's the feeling, is like, I didn't even see it coming. It was so easy. The path leading to this had like no resistance, right? And so I feel like there's this fear of this path moving forward, of which way to go and what to choose, because it might not always be clear and it might not always be easy. But that also doesn't mean that it isn't taking you somewhere you want to go, because you were on your way to getting your wishes. So that's really, really beautiful. I really like that. And I'm going to pull you guys a couple of cards of advice before I close the reading. This is one of them. Yeah, the 9 of Wands reversed. I wanted to look at that really quickly. So y'all are tired. And the 6 of Wands reversed at the bottom. Yeah, there's been what feels like a fail. And that's not really, I know it's hard to kind of be okay with, but we never really fail as long as we're learning and we're growing spiritually. We're doing what we came here to do. But I do feel like there's produced some fear about making the wrong choice moving forward. So for advice, you guys got the Queen of Swords reversed. Okay. And the 2 of Swords reversed. Oh my God, I love it. Okay. So first of all, what this is telling me is that there's a need here to kind of like maybe soften your energy a little bit, right? So if you're like, maybe you're feeling kind of suspicious or you're worried, this is kind of about being like a little bit, when she's upright, she's kind of like cold. She can be a little bit harsh sometimes. She's just very direct, to a fault at times, but she's just very direct. But seeing her here, what I'm kind of feeling is that this could be a need to kind of like soften your energy a little bit. But what I'm really saying is that this is a time to get out of your head, right? Because there's a little rabbit here, which is interesting because in the traditional tarot, only the Queen of Pentacles has a rabbit on her card. But this indicates that there's luck and like great opportunities for growth and fertility on your side, right? There's a lot of good luck and good fortune, but I feel like you guys are overthinking it because it's then clarified by the Two of Swords reverse. When upright, this is about, the person's blindfolded, they have their arms crossed in front of them, and they have two swords, they have one in each hand, right? And the arms are crossed over the heart space, and this is always about having two equally viable options or versions of the truth and not being able to make a decision between each one, right? And with the blindfold, this can be a call to trust your intuition. But this is also kind of talking about not having all of the information. And so when it is reversed, this is kind of talking about like the blindfold is coming off. You are seeing things clearly, but sometimes you just got to trust your intuition and make a damn leap of faith, make a choice. And I say that with love because this is my energy all day. So if you're in this situation, no judgment here. Well, one judgment, but terrible tarot joke for the day. But no judgment for me because I totally understand. But really what this is talking about for advice is that it's important at this time to get out of your head and into your heart, to make a decision. Just go for it. And to trust your judgment because the worst is behind you and it's leading you. I mean, you have justice, and which can talk about a positive karmic return. So maybe you have paid your karma and now you are getting a good return back. But you have justice twice. And then you have the Star twice. That's incredible. And you have the Lovers, right? So like, just really make this decision based on what's in your heart. What will make you happy? Where, at the end of the day, where do you want to be? What do you want to be doing? What will allow you to lay your head on the pillow at night and feel happy and satiated and satisfied with how you spent the day? And whatever that is, go do that. Yeah, go do that. So, I think that's everything that I have for you, my lovely, beautiful group 3. I hope this has been helpful. Like I said, if you're looking to do this reading for yourself, for your own situation, I will have the link for that as well as the link for my shop in general in the description box down below. And I feel like I don't say this enough, but if y'all ever have requests or like ideas for readings, please feel free to leave it in the comments. I'd like this to be a co-creative community where we work together to, learn and to grow and to produce content that we're all happy with. So yeah, feel free to leave comments below. I'm thinking of you guys. I love you dearly. I'm wishing you the best and the most beautiful things that life has to offer. Take care, love bugs. Bye.